Madam Chair, you are now live.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm going to call to order the Arts and Public Places meeting on January 26th at 7:12 p.m. Did everybody have a chance to read over the minutes from the last meeting? I thank Barbara for taking those and Karma putting them together and sending them out for everybody. Any questions, concerns, additions, comments for the minutes? Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
This is David, I second.
Thank you. All those in favor, please say aye with the roll call, Karma.
Joe,
Aye.
Genevieve,
Aye.
David,
Aye.
Cynthia,
Aye.
Barbara,
Aye.
Krista,
Aye.
the ayes have it.
Yay.
Thanks, Karma. Okay. We can do our subcommittee updates now. I'll have Barbara. Do we have any new updates for Poet Laureate?
Yeah. We did the readjustment on the dates. We had sent it out to all of you guys, but unfortunately, I guess you guys had no issues because the only thing that we changed are the dates. So officially now, the opening period will begin February 1st, with the deadline being February 26th, with the review period being March and a decision for the last week of March by the committee to submit to the mayor's office by April 1. We thought that sounded realistic. And Genevieve, we're going to have a subcommittee meeting probably, if not this weekend, definitely by next weekend to kind of schedule the selection committee and talk about where we go from there. I have a question for Ashley. Do you want to see the application forms again if we're only going to be changing the dates?
No, I don't need to see them again. I just make sure you send a copy to me, but I don't need to approve
Okay, great.
them.
So at this point, do we send it to Michelle for communications?
I would think that's probably right, but I'll defer to you guys.
Okay. Yeah, I'll send it over to Michelle or you can, Barbara, and then we can, she might have Dana do it because Dana does most of their promotions and stuff with Parks and Rec, but we can let them decide how they're going to do that internally. So.
Okay, great. I'm just following up from what we did last time. We had sent it to Michelle with a copy, I think, to Dana. Then she went ahead and sent it officially to Dana and put it on the website.
Okay.
And then there was a press release also, I think, that came out from her office to the city, opening it up for applications.
Yep. Sounds like the right.
Okay, great.
Events. Yep. Sounds good.
Okay, great. So we'll go ahead and send that to Michelle with a copy to Ashley and to you as well.
Awesome. Thank you, Barbara.
Thank you.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Get that going. Okay. Joe and Karma on grants.
What I will say about grants is that everything that I've researched is intended to go to an actual recipient, not through a third party. So I think that what we should do is focus in on some of the areas that we're working on, for instance, like musicians for the summertime, and perhaps help them get, reach out to them with some possibilities of some of the grants that we've come across. Because everything that I've seen is not going to give us a grant, basically.
Money won't come to us.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
And so we can't really be the person requesting the grant necessarily. I mean, they're few and far between that we could, so.
Okay. Okay, and then I think if we sorry, I getting a text message from Kamacel. Julian, if you could watch for him. He said it just booted him out, so
Yeah, I just brought him forward, but yeah, maybe he.
okay.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye out for him.
Okay, he's trying. Possibly that we move forward with the Friends of AIPPC, so we can be our own entity and then apply for grants, have that come in and then use that as additional funding to the funding that we get from the city for expanding our projects and our outreach. So, okay. Mural updates. Does anybody have any mural updates? I have a couple things to talk about, but nothing's going in right now, mainly because it's too cold to paint. So the paint will not.
Very true.
Yeah, the paint won't cure, and so we're not doing any outdoor projects right now.
Laura Brino was going to do it last Sunday, and I convinced her that it was going to be too cold, and we need more time too, because she kind of just told us last week to coordinate with Felicia and the events coordinator so that we can get, protection for the mural on the corner of Spa and Silipana, because there is kind of a sidewalk on Spa, but there is no sidewalk on Silipana. So it's gonna be children painting or young adults. And so we need to make sure we have safety covered there.
Yeah, it's a busy street. So yeah, so she's looking at March to do the Truxton Heights mural at the corner of Spa and Silipana. So
I'm also connecting her with the president of Truxton Heights to make sure she can help get the word out to all the community.
yeah, and she will. She said whatever she can do to help. So she's just waiting for Laura to reach out if Laura needs anything. Excuse me. Yeah, so everything for murals is on hold. We're talking about some future things in the new business. I'll talk about that later when we get there. But on existing projects, everything is just still on hold right now until the weather is more conducive to painting outdoor murals. Outreach. I know I had a meeting last week with the PVA programs, Bates and the mayor. We all got together and talked about just more of a outreach for the students, especially since they're not in house, and it's not fabulous like it used to be for them. In addition, it's just completely different for all of us on the learning level side of it, and then for their artistic outreach and having direction and projects and stuff. So we were just masterminding all together. I also had a phone conversation with Diane Shinton yesterday she works now with Future History Now, and just talking about collaborating with all of our arts entities in town and bringing us all together at a round table or whatever. And just, with Maddie MTPA and Damien and Laura at Maryland Hall and Arts Alliance, Elizabeth and the county and everybody, and just see what it looks like after COVID. What is it going to be? Like, as soon as we get, the okay to move forward, like, what is everybody planning? How are we going to handle it? What are we going to schedule? Where can we work together to make sure that the relaunch of the arts in public with people gathering is safe and effective in promotion without,
Yeah, I imagine that's probably gonna be a really good idea, because in my head, I'm imagining just one big, huge, massive party
Yeah,
Um,
and you know everybody's
everybody's
gonna
gonna-
want one. Yeah.
Everybody's
Yeah.
gonna want to do. I mean, just
Yeah.
I mean, from everything from arts, entertainment, just everybody's gonna want, especially if it's relatively warm. I think everybody on the planet is gonna want to sort of have a COVID-free party. So I think it'd probably be a good idea to have that sort of planning session ahead, just to make sure that
Yeah.
people aren't stepping on people's toes. That's a good concept. I like that.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so in the next week or even tomorrow, I had started to draft the email, so it's sitting here on my desktop. I just haven't sent it out, but just reaching out to everybody and hoping that we can all get together, at least via Zoom, to start the conversation of how we're going to proceed forward with all of that, and make sure that everybody's covered and we know how to promote everybody safely and effectively in a whole new norm. We're going to enter a whole
Yeah,
new
right.
phase. Yeah. So that's where I'm with old business. Does anybody else have anything else to add?
Speaking of Damien, tomorrow night is the big event at Maryland Hall. I was going to send everybody here on this board and to the mayor's staff and maybe even to the all city staff, because it's a pretty amazing show that they have there this month. If you're able to go over and see it, it's at Black Artists. It's all 3 floors. It's amazing. And
Oh yeah, it's really
tomorrow
cool.
night-
It's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome.
Tomorrow night is a big event that they have called Athletes for the Arts. And they have artists as a former professional football player. And there's just some great stuff. So I hope you guys can all take a look at it.
Yeah, and you can virtually view everything. So
Yeah, that's what I was gonna, this is Krista. That's what I was gonna ask is how are they, I mean, are you actually just doing it all virtually or is it in person also? Because I've seen some of the advertisements for it. How are they, if it's in person, how are they handling that?
Thomas,
Tomorrow night's thing is on virtually, but you can go in and see the art yourself.
I was gonna say,
Okay.
if Thomasel's on, he can tell. which-
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Yeah, he can give us some more in depth of which parts you can go see later. I know that they do have certain viewing hours, so I'll let him talk about
Yeah,
it.
so the viewing hours are Wednesday and Friday only from 3:30
Alright.
p.m. to 6:30 p.m. And when I went there, the main thing was just make sure you're wearing a mask. You have 2 entrances that you can come through, the bottom, front, and I believe near parking C on the backside. And I mean, it didn't, just your basic restrictions, 6 feet away. And that's
So
it.
they're not limiting how many people are going in at a time?
No, I think because it's 3 floors, it's a lot of space to cover.
Okay.
And when I went in,
Okay.
there wasn't that many people.
It's same for me. I went in on MLK Day. My son and I went in. There were probably all 3 floors. No, this is like on a Wednesday. I think we went there Monday, I believe, and it's probably combined about 10 people in there all together on all 3 floors. It wasn't really crowded.
Okay.
Yeah,
I know
same here.
JP has one coming up in February also, I believe. JP Fleming has one, I think, too there.
Yeah, he's got one currently at MTPA. Anybody else? Let me just get my notes here real quick.
I got a phone call yesterday from somebody that was asking to help set up, if we would like, a free concert with the Baltimore Symphony Orchestra somewhere in town, that I wanted to let all you guys know, because my first thought was that would be awesome. We are the capital city and we should do that, but we also should be sensitive to our own local Annapolis Symphony and figure out how to broach that.
Brian, would they be open to having some of our members be part of their event?
Yeah, well, that was the other thing, was we're not even sure if we can have a event at this
Right,
time
right.
and when we could, if that. But they just were touching base, reaching out.
Hmm.
So it's a great
That's awesome.
opportunity that hopefully I would like to see it maybe a yearly thing, so that it's one more free concert that we
Yeah, that sounds like something that would be good at Maryland Hall for their long concerts because they have enough space for everybody spread out. But it's definitely a conversation that we can talk about for future planning for the schedule. I do know that.
Yeah, I wanted to jump in too and just say that the information that I'm hearing now, COVID-wise, is that we're not even really considering anything till after July and into the fall. You know, everything at first meaning the government, at our museum, we were looking at possibly April. And again, when I'm talking, this is just nothing official. This is just kind of behind the scenes discussions. We were hoping that maybe something might happen in April or May. Then discussion got pushed to July, and the last press information I've been seeing and hearing coming out of the White House is looking at the fall. So, you know, possibly into the fall even. So is everyone kind of on that same page? Is everyone hearing that same thing?
Well, I know that the city and county aren't expecting to open up office until July currently, and that may be pushed too. I think everything is just relative on numbers and vaccines and what's happening. So,
right.
Okay,
good. I just wanted to make sure we're all getting the same information, and just with regards to measuring expectations and, trying to make sure that everyone's flexible with, kind of the ball that keeps getting pushed forward into, the year, like keeps moving along.
Yeah.
So.
And with our programming, we can just treat it like we did last year. If we have to cancel, we have to cancel. It's.
Yeah. I just don't want to get people's hopes up and then, have them be, put down again. So.
I don't think anybody is really planning any performances yet. I even know that AEG and larger touring promotional companies that do nationwide or international tours weren't even looking until late June, July, as of the updates last fall. And then again, I'm sure they'll reassess everything, come March and figure out what's happening. But I think there's a few people, here and there doing some one-offs in the states that allow them to tour currently. But yeah, I don't expect anything to happen here for some time. So.
Oh, I have a couple more updates. Ram said.
Brian, you're phasing out. I'm not hearing anything you're saying.
He keeps dropping.
You keep dropping, yeah. Hello?
You're muted, David.
They said it was one of the largest revenue generating events for the city that they're in down there.
Brian?
Yes.
We didn't hear what you said. Can you repeat it?
Yeah, you dropped out.
We lost your feed.
Sorry,
My
Brian.
internet stinks. I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, we got you.
So Ram said, as you may know, the owner is in Florida, and wherever they're at, I can't remember the name of the town, they have a songwriter series or a songwriters festival down there that is one of the largest economic generators in that town. And they would like to bring that here. And they're talking about September, like so anywhere from the last weekend in August to the first weekend in October. And so that's something that may or may not be happening because of COVID too, but we're at least pursuing that. And I just wanted to give you an update there. And then tomorrow morning, I got a meeting where we're meeting. You've heard me talk about the Umbrella Sky project that we got very close to making happen 2 years ago. Last year, COVID derailed it, but we are planning to make that definitely happen this year. And just wanted to let you know, because I think
do you have a time frame for that by any
Yeah,
chance?
that's what that's one.
I think it's gonna be like June, July, or August for like 3
Okay.
months. But I think it's
Okay.
gonna be one of the largest art installations
Installations. Yeah,
the
it will
city
be.
has
It
ever
will
had,
be.
and I think it's gonna bring a
Mhm.
lot of people here.
We hope so, Brian. I know you've been talking about that for a while, so
We look
let's hope
forward
it
to
works.
reviewing that proposal.
Well, I'm wanted to ask you, should I ask them to come to like our next month's meeting and give a proposal, and maybe we can help fund it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they need to fill out the paperwork and everything for it, so.
I'll have Anthony get a hold of you then, Genevieve.
Sounds good.
And Brian, this is Krista. I have a question about the Ram's Head event, which sounds really exciting. I love events like that. Is it possible that Ram's Head would consider doing this outdoors? As
Well,
opposed
the
to
thought
doing
is it would be
inside?
citywide. It would,
Okay.
Yeah. So he's referring to
So
the.
it wouldn't be
West.
just one venue, in other words?
No,
It wouldn't be just at their Ram's Head venue. Okay,
No.
gotcha.
no, it'd be all over.
Okay,
So,
good.
so down in Key West or like Tin Pan South in Nashville, you go to various different venues.
Right, I gotcha.
Yeah, you have
Yeah,
schedules.
because when you were saying that Ram's Head was doing it, I was thinking, how can they do that in just one venue? So, yeah. Okay, sounds good. Thanks.
Yeah. Also want to mention that Patrick Doherty is still planning on doing his installation at Maryland Hall. So that will happen. That's May 2nd through the 22nd. And I think that's all I have for old business updates. And we can move into new business. So
I have new business.
yes.
So I had a meeting with Diana Love. She's West Annapolis Association. And she has an idea that she wants us to consider called, sorry, I wrote it down, A Year with COVID.
Yeah.
And doing a citywide promotion for anybody in the city to send a photograph of their version of A Year with COVID, to set up a site so that they could upload the photograph, have a team of basically judges, and decide on what pieces they were going to accept and create some art installations. She had said maybe Maryland Hall or City Hall or Pip Moyer. I was thinking it'd be really cool if we found public places or restaurants in each of the wards. I said, maybe you could make several installations, and you could make it sort of ward centric, so that
Yeah.
in the ward, say Ward 2, that's at Evelyn's and Bean Rush, they have, a collage of these pictures, collage of him, something in Ward 1, and in each ward finding a public space. It would be kind of cool because especially if it were in some of the restaurants or whatnot, then maybe it would draw some business in as we start to, open those things up a little bit, because people would want to go and see if their artwork made it. She's willing to head it up if we would partner with her.
That would be awesome.
So I'll tell her to put together to pencil to paper and
Yeah. Have her submit a proposal, a concept that we can review and
Have her come in and chat.
yeah, and she can join us and tell us what the needs would be and stuff.
Is that title of that exhibition firm? Is that what they really want to title
that's
it?
just what she called it.
Okay.
Putting a marketing hat on there, Krista.
Yeah, I'm not so crazy about the title of it, but anyway, I'd like to hear more about it from her. Thanks,
I was
Karma.
telling my husband about it, and he said we should use hindsight 2020.
Yeah, I think it needs something with more of a positive spin. Maybe that's just me, trying to be optimistic because I know COVID's been so devastating for so many people too. But something that has a title that is more than that. I mean, this was such a huge year and meant so many different things to so many different people. So I like that idea a little bit more with the hindsight 2020. But you know, for some people, there have been blessings in the middle of the darkness as well. So I'd like to hear a little bit more about what their, you know, what the purpose is and what they're trying to do. But thanks for bringing that to the table.
Sure.
Yeah, I love it. So it'll be interesting to see everybody's perspective of COVID
Right.
from their own viewpoint.
Right.
Nice. Anybody else have anything, new projects coming up?
I don't know if it's a project, but I'm trying to find it now. Of course, I can't because I'm a space cadet. A couple of the local fraternities and sororities are trying to find some virtual talent. So they're having a virtual talent showcase. Dance, dramatic arts, spoken word, instrument, vocal music, visual arts. Yes, they're trying to do a showcase in March, and hopefully that'll work out for them with some prizes for winners. I put this up on our Facebook page, and I can send it to all of you in case you know anyone who's interested in doing some virtual talent showcasing.
I think it's
Hello,
already
Elizabeth.
on our Facebook page.
Yeah, I put it on their Facebook page. I put it
Yeah.
up, but I'm gonna send it to individuals in case you know some folks who are, you know, they're looking for primarily, it looks like middle school folks. Yeah, searching for middle school and high school students, 6 through 12 in Annapolis, Arnold, Broadneck, Crofton, Gambrills, Old Mill, and Severna Park, and southern Anne Arundel County. So if you have any folks in those areas who
Okay.
want to showcase, yeah, that's, you know, it's one of those prime ways to show how you dealt with COVID over the course of, you know, this year. You know, learn an instrument or learn a craft or something like that. It might be cool as well to kind of tie
But
in
the
to
focus
what
is on
Carmen
the
was saying.
children. Is that right?
Yes.
The focus is on the students. Okay.
6 to 12, yes.
Okay.
Can you
And I'll send this out to
attach?
everyone.
Can you attach that to our minutes or something like the flyer or whatever? Because I can put it in the Arts Alliance. You know.
I can just send this out to you guys digitally if that's
Okay.
cool.
Yeah. Because I'll
Yeah,
put
I'll
it in the
just-
Arts Alliance newsletters we're sending now out every 2 weeks or something like that.
Very cool.
Yeah. Happy to do that.
Fantastic. Thank you.
David, can we also get that on our web page too? In case people who aren't on Facebook or Instagram.
It does. Actually, our Facebook feed is on our page on the city
Okay, great.
website.
Okay, great.
Yeah, so they can scroll through it right there on the website.
Great.
Elizabeth, welcome. Do you have any updates?
Thanks. I'm very sorry that I was late. Everything got pushed. It all rolls downhill, you know. Let's see. The Alliance is we're doing Petit Squares, which is the show it's a small wonder show. It'll be here because there's nowhere else for it to go right now. March 8th through April 17th. And the theme is A New Day.
I like that.
So yeah, we're going back and forth, and I was thinking America, but then I didn't want to send in a flag, because that's what people do. They think of America, they think of flags. So that's the thing. So that will be here, and then in the gallery, we have 3 new artists coming in. And then we're also doing something similar to the 6 to 12th graders that you were talking about, David, with just high schoolers. We're looking to mentor high schoolers that are interested in selling their work, you know, working in a gallery, how to label it, how to frame it, for about a month and a half. We're trying to do like mid-February to March. And then another time, like in the fall again. And we're trying to start to do scholarships for high schoolers, which the Alliance has never done. So the sales of like the children's work would go towards a scholarship. So, you'll see some, because we're trying to connect with GG Playhouse as well. In a couple months, again, those sales would go toward the scholarship. So try to do some other things for the Alliance. Let's see. I have a show. I forgot. I have a show here. That's George Walker and Richard Nieworth. Richard Nieworth taught at the college, the community college, for like 20 years or something like that. He's a plein air artist, and it's all oils. So this show goes through the middle of February. It's February the 20th. Our reception's is Sunday. Social distancing, hopefully, fans, doors open if it's not too cold. We'll see.
Elizabeth, what's your capacity in your area with the COVID protocols and all that stuff?
Yeah, so technically, right. So when COVID's not happening, it's actually 150 for the size. It's actually bigger, but we have structure, pieces and stuff. It's 150. It's actually, I think he quoted me at 2, and I was like, yeah, 150. And then for COVID, we've kind of been doing, because I try to do that toward 25%, even though we're not a restaurant. So receptions, we've done 25 to 30. People kind of know, like they'll come in or they'll hang out on where the ramp is, or they come in phases. It's only from 1 to 3, so it's only 2 hours. So they'll come like really early and like leave at 1:30, and we spread things apart and stuff like that. People, it's funny. There's clusters. There's only like people in their family cluster. It's kind of cool. I mean, people get it, which is good, and no one wants to be shut down.
That's good.
So,
okay.
Yeah, my mother was like, do we have fans? We need to bring the fans out. I'm like, okay, I'll find some fans.
Cool. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I can't wait till we could have wine, open bottles of wine again, to do everything.
I think
small.
everybody else can't wait for that either. So.
Yeah.
Like David said, there's gonna be one big party. And
Seriously.
One big continuous party. That's the thing about it. It's probably going to go for a while. So
like a roaring 20
plan
all
ahead.
over again.
Yeah, I know. I can't wait.
Awesome, though. That's great. Love that you're having a show. It's awesome.
I think that's it. I think that's all that I'm involved in that has things going.
Okay. Awesome. And then Common Cell, you came in on the end too. I don't know. Do you have any updates?
No, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yep. Gotcha.
I'm sorry. I said no, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you. Just checking.
No problem.
Okay. So, should we be in the consensus then that we just don't even book spring shows? Should we not try, or should we go ahead and do it like we did in 2020 and then cancel as we go?
My personal opinion is that we should just have that placeholder, because like I said, I think, if we do this sort of UN of arts alliances and groups and everybody's going to come, we should at least have a tentative plan about what we'd like to do.
Mm-hmm.
So get that in. I mean, that's just my thoughts versus, just kind of bypassing and waiting for the shoe to drop and, let's do a thing, and we're all scrambling.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
This is Chris. My thought is it possible to do a sort of plan A and plan B? In other words, line something up, and if it doesn't work out and we have to put it off, that we move it to a virtual program.
We could do that. Yeah. Okay.
I think realistically speaking, I think we may have to do that.
Okay.
Anyway.
I
don't know. That's just me.
So Ashley, with our agreements going forward, are we going to have to put anything in there regarding COVID or limits?
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
probably need something that allows us, I mean, we generally always have termination language in there, but I need to double check that. And then if you want to have a plan B option, we should probably put some language in there to that effect.
Especially if we're going to pay people or people are going to look forward to giving us their dates or their time. And then there's also going to be a stipend and payment involved. I would hate to put them on the calendar, get something rolling, and then cancel it or postpone it because they may be looking forward to or planning around a payment that they thought they would get within that month or so.
Yeah, so I think I need to look at the cancellation policy language and the termination language.
Okay.
And then if you want to include a plan B, if you think it's an option where we can already have that sort of set up, so then we don't have to go back and revisit the agreement. We can just say, we're going to move to plan B and it's already been set out. The more you can set out in advance, to some extent, will be helpful. Not that we can't change things later, but it will help people entering in the contracts understand all the different expectations and plan accordingly. But I think that's the only thing we'll really need to change. The only other thing I could think of is we might need to do certain setup parameters differently to accommodate COVID spacing. But that wouldn't be that hard. So I'll take a look at it.
Okay.
What's today? This week, I think sometime, and I'll let you guys know.
Okay.
And I guess my
I honestly
question.
don't
I mean,
think that we
can-
should.
Oh, go ahead.
Karma.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I honestly don't think that we should plan or book musicians for May or June. I think that we should look at July and hope that that's the best. Being on the side, and Brian can probably attest to this, I live with a guy that runs AM/FM and is writing checks to musicians, and they write them for lost gigs. So if we book all of these people and then,
Right.
find out later on,
Yeah,
AM/FM is ending up booking them for lost gigs, when were we really prudent by booking somebody in May or June?
Yeah.
I completely 100% agree.
Yep,
And
I
I,
agree.
that's why I spoke up, because I think we need to, number one, be responsible and be be responsible. We represent the city and Gavin and, our wards and all of that. I think we need to be a model for that. And exactly what you said, Carmen, I completely agree. I'm kind of leaning towards maybe the fall, like September, October, November. But if you guys want to go with the July or August, September kind of format, I'd be flexible on that. But I'm leaning more towards the conservative part of it, just because I know what we've been going through within the federal government.
Agreed.
Yeah. Well,
I guess I do have a question though, just in
ahead.
regards to the whole the virtual experience. Would that be something we'd be responsible for setting up? If we were to say Plan B would be a virtual event?
I
think it would depend on the event.
Yeah.
Whether it could be or not. And I think that that's what we have to be careful in picking what we are actually going to promote or suggest.
Right.
That
That's
it
that's
would have a
infrastructure.
component. Right.
That's infrastructure we got to think about. If it's, a band or a person, we could stream. But I mean, again, that's, and we can get into the weeds later, but I just thought I wanted to throw out there real quickly.
Yeah.
One of the things that you guys I know kind of make fun of me for being such a John Mayer fan, but one of the things that just came by my feed on Facebook was a 15-minute session that he did, and I know Bridget runs a lot of the Beeper Buzz, and Bridget is feeding out a lot of these little mini concerts. Jimmy's been doing them. Various artists have been doing them all along. There's the open mic that Kevin Lebling's been running for some of the singer-songwriters in the area that are, some well-known and some that are just, working on some of their music, and some that are just starting out. And so those feeds and that material is there. Those artists are there. And I just like that format of maybe not even an hour-long session, but featuring them. What John did is I think he did only 4 or 5 songs when he did his. So, you know, it was just a nice 15-minute break or so that comes in through your feed, or maybe we could put on our website or something like that. I don't know if we could tie some money into it at all, if any artists were coming out to do that, but you know, something along those lines with regards to the music, where they get a feature, maybe even if they have some sort of an album they're working on, or songs they're working on. I don't know. I'll let you guys figure that out, but that kind of stood out to me. That 10 or 15-minute segment kind of really stood out to me, as opposed to the full-on hour concert that not everybody's available to do. You know, meaning the viewer. The viewer might not always be able to devote an hour to watching that kind of thing.
No, we could definitely Facebook Live if it's just a small performance. I think for the dance performances, because I was going to present on our schedule, the MTPA, their modern dance team, would come and perform prior to the music starting on Sundays, our normal concert series. So for something like that, it would probably have to be more, MTPA would have to have production to do a live stream. And they've done them before.
Well, or even if we didn't do it live, I mean, even if we somehow did a feed or something, I mean, we could, we can talk about this at our outreach meeting, or if we want to create another committee or have another meeting to, discuss this further down the road on really getting something together that we can, I'll brainstorm on to find some ways. But I just, for me with teleworking, and I'm a wellness coach also, in addition to what I do for the museum. I'm a wellness coach for our agency, and having mini breaks throughout the day like this, and particularly the arts, if we could offer something like that on a regular basis and maybe even promote it as such, I think could be something that we could brainstorm. I don't know. It's just an idea. Again, it's just an idea.
Could be your,
I come up with the ideas and then I throw it out for you all to figure out the logistics, because, I'm not the AV person, so,
Yeah, it can be AIPPC's daily break, or or your lunch concert or something like that. Yeah, and it can be 15 to 30 minutes. That is something that we could definitely, I think, move forward with. I like the idea. Thanks, Krista.
I'll be honest with you though. The last thing I want to do is sit in another Zoom call or virtual meeting after being in meetings all day long. So
yeah. No, we can.
We also have to take that into account.
Yeah.
I think we all have Zoom fatigue. I think everybody Google Meet Zoom fatigue. It's like we're on it all day with virtual classes, and then and then for work I'm on it. And yeah, in addition to a big party, we're all going to need a big break, I think, too. But we could Facebook Live it, and it would pop up in your feed, and if you want to participate, you'd participate with it during lunch or whatever. You can
we could just do a call. We could just do a kind of a curtain call for local artists, local dancers, theater. It could be all sorts of different things, really. I have a few actor friends that are trying to keep their chops up, and they're just literally running lines and stuff like that for their friends, and kind of creating these little creative venues and poetry readings and things like that. So it doesn't have to be something really complicated. It could just be a little arts break of some sort. I don't know.
Okay, sounds great. All right, well, we'll start in July, and Ashley's going to work on our contracts with us, and once we get that all put together, I'll send some tentative dates over to Felicia, make sure that there aren't other things scheduled when we want to have things, and then we can move forward with booking, or however we're going to do it. If we just do it virtually, then that makes it a little easier on our end. And we'll figure all that out. So we'll have a work session, I think, for that. I think that's the best way to do that.
As far as the galleries go, so are we pushing back opening up? Like, is the city not opening up till?
Not till July, at least, I think, at the earliest. So, but like we said before, we could put something on Facebook. If they want to submit pictures of their work, we can definitely create an album for them on Facebook and promote their pieces. Like we could post a new piece
Okay.
with a description daily if they wanted to do that.
Okay, so the buildings won't be open well, PIP's open, right?
PIP is open.
Yeah.
So you could
Yep.
carry on in PIP if you wanted to.
Okay. Does anyone go to PIP? I don't know. I don't go to PIP. I don't know.
I'm there Fridays. Sometimes Karma's there every Friday, but she's downstairs for the food deliveries. But there are people in there, people coming for COVID testing. People are coming in for giving blood. I think the students are still there for the virtual learning. They had a virtual learning program. People may be going to work out. I don't know. I haven't been since COVID.
Yeah, I mean,
There's
are they
still a fair
going?
amount of traffic there.
Is there? I mean, are they going down those halls? I mean, that was the thing. They used to have meetings, so people were going down those halls, and of course the bathroom. But I mean, so you
They're
think there's
using the
enough?
room at the end of the hall for the blood drive, so people are going down,
Okay.
and then they're using those other two smaller meeting rooms right now because they're all in the gymnasium.
Okay.
Is there a show up right now?
No.
I think we could just put one up and leave it up for a few months, I mean,
Yeah.
for the
We
next.
had one. Yeah, I had Jen Sterling in there for months. I mean, she took down she went up in February, before COVID hit, and then she took down in August or something because she had needed her pieces or something. I don't know what happened. So,
Okay.
all right. Well, I'll reach out to them if they can. Because some artists can leave things up, and others. I mean, MFA is still having shows. Of course, Alliance is having shows, and galleries are having shows, I think, as well. So we need to find an artist that has either enough stuff that they can leave up for 3 or 4 or 5 months or something like that, or they can or they're not because they're not doing shows or something. Okay, I'll reach out to the ones that wanted a show and see what they all say.
Awesome. Thanks, Elizabeth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anybody else got anything for new business? Okay. I sent out the annual report. Joe, I didn't have your stuff on there. I'm sorry. That's my fault. So I did get stuff from Joe. But for the blank spots on there, please send me your bios and your hopes and dreams and aspirations for your ward. No,
Joe's on here.
Yeah. He gave me a bunch of information I didn't put in there. So.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say he's on my sheet.
Yeah. He gave me his at-large stuff, but I.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ward. Okay.
It's so good. I'm sorry. Anyway, just come on in. Love it. So I'm not going to go over the annual report because it's not finished. I did ask for an extension from Regina because we were waiting on other commissioners to submit their information. So please, may I have it by Thursday so I can turn it in hopefully by next Monday. If we're able to do the editorial stuff to it within 24 hours, then I definitely will hand it in on Friday to Regina. But so that's 2 days. It's Wednesday, Thursday. Send bios, send award update, and then we'll be good. Anybody have any questions, concerns, comments, anything else for open discussion? Nope. Well, alrighty. Then do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion to adjourn. This is Krista.
Thank you, Krista. Do we have a second? Karma, second. All right, everybody. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. Well, thank you, everybody. I hope everybody's staying safe and enjoying the new year. Hopefully the chaos will come down a little bit for us all. And
Think positive.
Yep. Please send me the information for the report so we can get it in. And I'll see you soon, and we'll schedule that work meeting so we can talk about planning our
Miss
event.
all you guys.
Thank
See
you,
you
Brian.
Bye,
later.
everybody.
Bye-bye.